over here. Welcome back. I'm Tedward. Welcome to the first snow of the December 2025 season, and welcome to a little therapy drive in this gorgeous eggplant colored 1992 Audi 100. It's a very base model. It's actually front wheel drive, so we don't have the legendary Quattro all-wheel drive to play with today. It has a 2.8 liter V6 naturally aspirated. It only makes 172 horsepower. She's not fast. It's connected to a 4-speed automatic transmission, and it would have competed with the likes of the mid-size Mercedes and the 5 Series from BMW. So let's take a look around. First of all, we should probably take a look at what we're on for rubber. We've got Continental True Contact Tour, so let's hope that means it's something of an all-season today. We do have some tread, so actually a lot of tread, so I don't think we're in any dire straits. And I see DWS, so we're in the clear. DWS means that they're good for a little bit of all-season play. We've got 4-wheel disc brakes. These wheels have just been refinished. They look fantastic, and we've just got 195 sections, which should help us dig in nicely. So first, let's get it started up and then we'll brush some of the snow off. Oh yeah, and the reason we're going out today is because we're going to have lunch with some Cannonball folks. Please start. I know it's cold, but this battery has been on a tender at Garage 42. You can tell it's an import from Japan with the toll card guy. Yes, that's what we want to hear. All right, let's let that warm up, and then we'll grab our trusty snow brush, even though eggplant looks pretty cool right now in the snow. This is kind of powdery stuff, so this actually would, it's a little thick. Sometimes it's fun to use a leaf blower to get the snow off the cars, just as like a fun little party trick. But look at it, like, it's pretty wet. This is not the kind of snow that you want to really be able to do that with. But what you want to be careful is you just don't want to be scratching paint. And you know what? You got to get the snow off your car. This is light enough that it's not going to damage anybody's stuff if it comes off on the highway at 70 miles an hour. Because that's the scary part, is when you get that snow that comes down, then it freezes. You end up with like icy snow. That's very, very hard. But what I do is I'm not touching the paint with the brush. I'm like letting the snow build up, and then I let the snow kind of do the work, because we want to keep eggplant nice and fresh and not scratched up. But that's all in the name of just being an insane car enthusiast, because this car is very wildly inexpensive. You'd be surprised how little money you can spend at a Japanese auction to get your stuff that is way cooler than anything you're going to find on a used car lot in America. However, we are going to a car lot because we're going to go meet at Boston Motorsports. So I should bite my tongue, because they have a lot of cool stuff there. But that stuff's all very expensive. Okay, get this going. Great. And I know some of you are like, that's not a good enough job. Well, it is. Okay? It's fine. Just get as much off of this as we can. We'll make sure that our mirrors and lights are all clear, because we don't want to have any mixed signals from anybody. We don't want to crash because we didn't see something obvious on the road. Yeah, okay. That's what we would call good enough. I suppose I'll just throw this in the back. I love these cloth seats. What I like about this car is that it's really nice, but it's also basically bare bones. You're almost surprised that it has power windows and power locks by the looks of it. Whew, it is cold in here, and I gotta tell you, I don't fully know how this HVAC system works. It does have auto, which is odd, because I thought the auto HVAC was only available on the CS models and not the base models. Something that's interesting about this is that it has a Japanese radio. So I can turn it on, and sure, there we go. We're on 89.7, like a local public radio station. But if I wanted to go up in the in the ranks, I got nothing, because it actually goes down to 76.1. And so then you're not able to really get much for radio in this car.
When we combine the ancient pleasure pain
Hey, Shankar Vedantam, hidden brain. Okay, turn our headlights on. I'm going to throw the fogs on as well. Handbrake. Also, let's do a little test of the ABS. Okay, ABS is on, but we actually have an ABS button that will allow us to turn the ABS off. And there we are sliding. So, there we go. We fully know. I had to overcome a little bit of snow to get off of that. Now we know. We're good. Oh, that's the stuff. I'm not warmed up and I don't really want to send it too hard just yet. So we are going to wait. I have enough mechanical sympathy for this car that I'm not going to just send it. Headlights would be cool. Appreciate your speed though. Let's see, did they plow the soccer lot? That's really the question. Oh, they locked the gates? No, the gates are open. Okay, so we can maybe go just slide this around a little bit for a quick second. It's front wheel drive, so it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but do a little loop over here. There we go. All right, and then a quick tutorial with ABS or not ABS. So if you have ABS, when you get on the brakes, you want to just hit the brakes and let the ABS take care of it. So let the car do its thing. But here's the thing, when you don't have ABS, we're going to turn around so we don't go through any of those rocks. When you don't have ABS, the fastest way to stop is actually to lock and unlock your brakes. So you pump the brakes, but what you got to do is you got to let the car start going again. So we get into it, and you kind of just hit. Now we've done this in Colorado with the Bridgestone guys. Let's see, we'll go back and do it the other way. So we're gonna get into the brakes, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, and then we're stopped. So anyway, that's how she works. Cool. Well, now we know that this has enough grip and traction to kind of get us where we need to be. So not a dedicated snow tire, but certainly winter ready. Okay, I'm being obnoxious with these windshield wipers. It's amazing how many people don't use headlights. This car seems to be self-healing. When I first got in this car, the blinkers didn't work, the high beams didn't work on the stock, and the thermostat was totally on the fritz. Like, it was just running super cold, and I wasn't sure if it was the thermostat, I wasn't sure if the gauge was wonky, and maybe the gauge was just wonky and the thermostat was working perfectly. Because typically when a thermostat dies, it just holds itself open, and then the car runs really cold, and you just suck down a lot of fuel. Usually that's like the telltale sign that you're not functioning properly because your fuel economy just goes absolutely south. This car now is sitting at temperature perfectly well and seems to be closing and running as it should. Again, I can't believe people just don't use headlights when they're in inclement weather. It's like 2025 and we have not found solutions to this. This is pathetic. It does feel like we've gone backwards. Like, in the 60s, we put people on the moon, and now we don't put people on the moon, and people don't even know when or how to use their headlights. That's such a boomer way to describe what's going on. I'm too young for this kind of curmudgeonly attitude. But look at this. I love the way this car is suspended. it's somehow really solid, but also light. I read a Car and Driver article from 1991 about this car, and they described it perfectly. They said it was lean, and I'm like, oh my God, that's it. That's what this car is. It's not that big, but it has a stance. It has a feeling of like solid quality. When I was at the Bridgestone winter driving school, we had a button to turn off ABS because they were teaching us how to drive with no ABS. And it had to be this crazy rigged up system, like plugged into the port, and it's like this third party box, all this crazy stuff. And I'm just like laughing because this car from 1992 literally has that button. And now I'm thinking, hey, Bridgestone, you guys should just go to a Japanese auction, find a bunch of cheap Audis and pick those up for the school. It's already suitable and ready to go. Stay nice and to the right. Even he doesn't have his headlights on. That's an ambulance. Dude, we live in cuckoo banana land. Don't you love when you don't have damped gauges? Like this oil pressure gauge is just like wobbling around up there. The car industry didn't trust us with accuracy. People kept going back to their dealerships because they would see their water temp gauge change, right? So they'd be in a situation where suddenly they're stopped and the water temp is going up. Then it goes down. They think that their car is like overheating and things are bad. So they go to the dealership and ask questions. So what ended up happening was now they basically don't give us any water temperature information in real time. So they'll just put it there and it's like, it prevents variation. And they don't want you to know about that variation because they get frustrated that you're worried about it. So now typically you'll only see a water temp gauge start to rise when it's basically overheating or like kind of too late. It's like the most responsible Civic I've ever seen. Maybe he's on bald tires. Boy, was I glad to have a handbrake. It's so frustrating that we get these little flappy guys now. I can't even do what we just did in that parking lot in my Civic Type R because it's just like the little flappy guy. And that's like a bummer. Pretty good, huh? This actually has decent torque. It's got a little more torque than power, so this engine is like lopsided on that way. It's got 172 horsepower, but I think 184 pound-feet of torque. So a lot of the good juicy stuff kind of happens in that low and mid-range. It doesn't feel like the kind of engine that you need to wind out. So beautiful out today. This is like my favorite part of New England, is having snow in the trees. And sure, it's a little soupy and mushy and not always the most pleasant in terms of being outside, but when you're in your little Audi cocoon, just looking out over the blanket of white snow, it's fantastic. I actually have rear lights as well. So I've got my like rear fogs. This is likely not the safest car on the road just because its safety standards are from 1992, despite the fact that it probably was a top contender for best crash testing in the early 90s. It is not the early 90s anymore, so I don't want to get rear-ended. So I'll throw on these bright guys. Hopefully everyone will see me. And this is where this car really shines, just sitting at like 60, 70 miles an hour. Ultra quiet, ultra comfortable. I feel like there's luxury cars today that don't even do this quite right. Every time I look at this gauge cluster, it just reminds me of a Toyota or a Subaru of this time. I could be wrong, but like I swear this is like the same as like a Subaru Legacy or a Toyota Camry of like 1990 to 92. I gotta find a picture of that. Maybe my memory is not correct, but that's just what I'm thinking of. I might have to buy this car. I think Edwin has dibs on it. They wanted to make me buy the Mercedes wagon, that black wagon that I drove, and I really do like that, but this is better. This is like a really good car. That one's like kind of a fun car because it looks perfect. It just has that look of like an AMG wagon, a little Yakuza mobile, whereas this is just the perfect car. Like, it's so easy and good to drive. This is what cars need to be. Why don't we have sedans like this? Like, they're pretty light. There's not much to them. Oh man, everyone's gone way crazy trying to get all the frills and technology and this and that. It's like, give me an underpowered V6 with an automatic transmission and a button to turn off ABS and no traction control. Let's do that. They did make this in a 5-speed manual, and that's definitely probably the way you'd want it. But honestly, I kind of dig just like leaning into this thing and not having to put like any effort into the drive. I need to do some math. Okay, so it's like 8.3 kilometers per liter, and there's 3.8 liters per gallon, and the only reason I know that is because I'm a man who has peed at 1 million urinals, and every urinal says that on it, so that conversion I get. So, okay, if 60 kilometers, if 100 kilometers is 62 miles, and 1 gallon is 3.8 liters, I need a pad of paper. I can't do this conversion in my head. I'm just curious what the fuel economy is. Easy does it. I've seen so many people nail this curb. Like, just destroy tires, destroy wheels. It's pretty impressive. This little 195 section tire that's on all these wheels makes me really think about these potholes, because I feel like in a more modern car with some wide rubber, like even like a 255 or something, you kind of go over stuff, whereas this one's just gonna slip its way in and kablam. Oh no, the thermostat! Come on. Oh, it's coming back up. I wonder what it is about this thermostat that like makes it open like that. It's coming back, it closed. Interesting. Unless that's just like what it's supposed to be doing, and maybe this is just the... Oh, I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the one that can't have an undamped idiot box water temp gauge. Maybe I'm the reason. Maybe I'm the one going back to the dealership, and I'm the reason why we don't get accurate information on our dashboards anymore. Well, that's come full circle now, hasn't it? Just finished up lunch, and on my drive over here, I lost the blinkers, I lost my windshield wipers, I lost a bunch of stuff, and I just feel like I don't necessarily know what contributes to this car failing electronically sometimes, and it's making me a little nervous because I don't want to lose my wipers. But good Lord, this has great ground clearance. so far it's working. What happened, and I fixed it, I guess. I turned the car off and I turned it on again. So I think maybe there's something going on with this ignition switch, which is what's not allowing it to run high beams, blinkers, or fog lights, because I feel like if the car were off and not in that accessory mode, those things wouldn't work. So it's got to be in there. What on earth is going on? What is this? Is this a parade? Okay. What is going on? Not a clue what this is. They've got a lot of bikes. Looks like they're giving them away. Big Sprinter. I feel like that's unnecessary. This road's pretty self-limiting. If you're going more than 30 on this road, you're probably trashing a wheel. It's insane that we even have to tell people not to go that fast on a road like this. Yeah, like I'm gonna hit that at 45 miles an hour? I don't think so. Oh, thermostat went down. We're going to go gently. Hopefully we can get this to close again. Alright, so she's a quirky car. She's a quirky car, but that's okay. I think it'll survive. Anyway, back on the road. Had a nice day. This car's fantastic, despite the fact that sometimes things just objectively do not work, but most of the time they do. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you know more about this car than me, which a lot of you Audi nerds probably do, feel free. Let me know what's going on here, why this doesn't work, why that doesn't work. I don't know, but so far I'm just having a good time driving it because it's really easy, and I do wish that cars were smaller, lighter, and just more connected. This is still a pretty connected experience despite not being a sports car. I like driving, and the Isuzu Ascender, which was the Isuzu version of the Trailblazer, right? Anyway, thanks for joining me on this little winter therapy drive. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.